Elephanta Cave Temples is a World Heritage Site in the UNESCO list and is a part of Mumbai, the famous financial hub of India and the capital of the state of Maharashtra. Of Mumbai, overlooking the sweeping, expansive Arabian Sea, dotted by majestic ships and ferries. The Gateway of India is a colossal structure built in 1924, located at the tip of Apollo Bandar in South Mumbai. The structure was erected to commemorate the landing of King George and Queen Mary at Apollo Bandar when they visited India in 1911. The gateway is built in the Indo Sasanic style. The gateway was earlier used as a landing place for British governors and other prominent people. Elephanta Island was popularly known as Gharapuri, that can be reached by ferries stationed on the left of the gateway. It takes around an hour or more to reach the island. The island is around 10 miles east of Apollo Bandar, south of Pilpal in Trombay. The visitors and tourists embark at the jetty, that is a narrow long bridge offering toy train service, a more convenient and speedier mode of transport, while the other alternative is walk the distance. The jetty is lined by several shops of and eateries. Elephanta seems to be a heaven for monks. The caves of Elephanta, like their predecessors, only three simple instruments like pickaxe, hammer, and chisel. These caves are naturally known as not built as they start from the top and carved downwards. From the beginning has been a matter of controversy. Scholars, historians, and writers have attributed different dates to these caves. Some scholars have attributed Elephanta to the Kalachuri period, some to the Mauryas of Konkan. Hirananda Shastri dates the caves to Mauryas of Konkan. Dr. Mirashi dates it to the Kalachuri period, while Dr. R.S. Gupte dates these caves to the Chalukya dynasty. Dr. Gupte's research paper, Dating of Elephanta, dates these caves between 600 and 645 AD. Why was the island originally named Gharapuri and later called Elephanta? It was because the Portuguese, who once owned the island, found a huge elephant in solid basalt rock on the island. It measures 7.4 feet in height and 13 feet in length. Presently, it is displayed at the Jijamata Udyan. At Elephanta, there are a total of 7 caves. They are divided into two groups. The first group has 5 Hindu caves, while the second group has 2 Buddhist caves. However, the main attraction of Elephanta is its main cave, number 1. The main attraction of the Elephanta caves are their gigantic and majestic sculptures. Larger than life in Cave 1. The facade of the cave has 2 pillars and 2 pilasters. The entrance opens into a hall of huge dimensions, which is measured as 38.40 meters in depth and 37.80 meters in width. Rows of columns divide the hall into corridors. There are 24 pillars that are carved in the Amalaka style supporting the hall. The masterpiece of this protector, and destroyer. The right half face of Shiva is benign, peaceful, and feminine, shows introspection, and reveals the while the other two faces recede in the background. In every Shiva cave, the main object of worship is the Linga shrine. So it Elephanta. Elephanta, the main object of worship is the Linga shrine, is carved in the central part. The square shrine with Shiva Linga and giant Dwarpalas can be seen guarding the shrine. They wear many Yajnopavita and decorative crowns. The guards are also accompanied by Ganas or dwarfs. Shiva as Mahayogi is another unique sculpture, as there are very few sculptures of Shiva in this particular form, one of which is at Ellora of Kailash. The sculpture of Mahayogi is located at the entrance. All Shiva sculptures of intense vigor and bustling energy, this is surprisingly a gentle, serene, yogic posture typical of ancient sadhus sitting in deep meditation. A number of figures are carved around Shiva, which include Vishnu, Brahma, etc. This sculpture of Shiva depicts the Lalitam dance posture and Shiva, the king of dancers, which is carved opposite the Mahayogic sculpture. A musician is seen to Shiva's right. Parvati's figure, though damaged, reveals great poise. Other figures around the main sculpture are Indra on his Airavat, Vishnu on his vehicle, the human eagle. On the right, Brahma, Ganesha, and Kartikeya can be seen. Now we come to the Ravana Anugraha Murti. This panel manifests the victory of Ravan against the powerful Kubera and the flying of Ravan over the snow-clad mountains in a haughty spirit. However, his vehicle was stopped by Shiva's host. Ravan, considering this as an insult, got under the mountain of Kailasha and started shaking it. The inmates of the mountain were scared, frightened, and started running helter and skelter. Shiva gently pressed his foot, imprisoning Ravan under the mountain. The repentant Ravan begged for mercy and was released. This panel is badly damaged. Both Shiva and Parvati are seated on the Mount Kailash. On to the Ardhanarishwari Murti, another very creation. Brahma was commanded. He requested for Shiva's help. Shiva and Parvati appeared in the form of half male and half female. Brahma immediately realized his error and created females too, so that the task of creation could be started. The Elephanta Ardhanarishwari form is extremely elegant and impressive. The four-handed Ardhanarishvara stands on Nandi. The left half of the sculpture represents Parvati and the right half Shiva. Above are various panels of divinity. Gangadhar Murti is carved next to Maheshamurti. It narrates the story of the descent of river goddess Ganga due to the severe penance of King Bhagiratha. In the Elephanta panel of the Gangadhara Murti, Shiva is seen standing with the right leg reclined. Parvati stands gracefully in Tribhanga pose. This is a masterpiece composition. The Kalyan Sundar Murti is one of the most classic panel where Shiva and Parvati are getting married. The marriage ceremony is being conducted by Lord Brahma, who can be seen sitting at the left hand side of Shiva, probably reciting the wedding mantras. Parvati's hand is held by Lord Shiva. Parvati is seen wearing profuse jewelry, as is very common in India, where newly wedded brides wear a lot of jewelry from top to bottom. The faces of both Shiva and Parvati appear at the threshold of youth. Both are looking very young and happy. On the right side of Parvati, probably her mother Menaka and moon god are standing, offering the bride to Lord Shiva. A number of flying figures are seen above on either side of the couple, carrying offerings for the divine couple. Another important sculpture at Elephanta is the Andhaka Suravadha. Andhaka Suravadha is a common and popular panel. In this panel of Elephanta, Shiva is seen in an aggressive mood. Shiva has 8 hands. On the left hand, Shiva holds a skull cup to collect the drops of blood to stop it from falling on the ground, as it was said that more the blood falling on the ground, more the demons would be created. A number of flying figures can be seen above. Cave number 2 is located to southeast of the main cave and has a shrine. Traces of sculptures are visible, but not many, and they are in a bad condition. Cave 3 from the outside has 6 columns and 2 pilasters. They are visible at the entrance. There is a chamber inside. This cave too is badly damaged and incomplete. Cave 4 has chambers on either side of the facade. It too is very badly damaged. As we move on from the Hindu caves, we come to the Buddhist caves. There are 2 Buddhist caves. The Elephanta sculptures have been badly damaged by foreigners, especially the Portuguese, who used it for target practice and shot bullets into the sculptures. Those damages can still be seen on most of the sculptures in the main shrine. The Elephanta caves have also been damaged because of the salinity which is there, as it is surrounded by seawater. Much has to be done to preserve and conserve these caves.